watching them, so they became very aggressive. So we could no longer put them on display, but we've actually moved them downstairs to the basement where we're actually researching them, okay? So what we're trying to do in our research is we're trying to find a cure for these zombies, okay? So during our research, Dr. Thomas Sullivan actually was scratched by one of the zombies. And what you're about to see right now is the beginning stages of him transforming into a zombie, okay? So, the way that he contracted this disease is through a scratch. There's different ways. Sometimes the virus can be airborne, so from breathing it in, you can actually become a zombie. Sometimes you have to get bit, so there has to be contact with fluids, so saliva, blood, okay? Or sometimes a scratch is just enough, all right? Dr. Thomas Sullivan has agreed to let us open him up so that we can all learn some more information about zombies, since there's still a big mystery, okay? I will give you a warning. We're going to be opening him up and taking a couple of his organs out, so it will be a little stinky, because we did feed him before. We gave him some sheep springs, okay? So we'll have our assistant Jency here. She's going to pull Dr. Thomas out. And that back area is where we keep our zombies. Don't worry, Dr. Thomas is really friendly. He's just moaning because he's in pain, but he's very, very friendly, I promise. So like I said, Dr. Thomas, you're making some of the kids scared.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Alright, like I said, he's in the beginning stages. So what happens to zombies is, when they get attacked, their brain kind of shuts off. So it's almost like they go to complete sleep. So it's almost like they die. But what the virus does is, it's a very, very cool, unique virus. It actually sparks up the brain again and sends impulses to the body. So that's why zombies move. Zombies are always they're always moaning because they're in pain. Because their body's decaying. That means that it's getting rotten. Like, you know, like those apples, if you leave them outside after some time, they start shriveling up. So that's what's beginning to happen to him, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some organs that are very vital and important to us, and then I'm going to pass them around so you guys can look. But make sure not to touch them, because I'm going to be taking them from the inside, so there's going to be some blood. And if you guys contract and hit the blood, you could become zombies too, and then we would probably have to keep you here. Don't worry, it's not scary. I'm not going to touch you with anything, okay? So don't worry about it. So, do you guys know what organs we use to breathe? Does anybody know what we use to breathe? What do you use to breathe?
We use the lungs and the heart.
Okay, so we're going to take out your lungs. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Alright, so these are your lungs. This is what you guys have inside. So if you take a big deep breath in and a breath out, you're having your lungs work. These lungs are actually smaller because they're beginning to rot right now. But they're still really red because some of the blood in the red blood vessels are still working, okay? They still haven't dried up. I won't bring them over there, don't worry. So you guys can take a closer look at our lungs. And this long thing in here that looks like a neck is our trachea. Okay, so that approaches when your nose is kind of down. Yes, it's real.
Yeah, it looks real.
Real?
Yeah. Yes. These are your lungs. However, Dr. Thomas, no, you don't. The zombie doesn't really need them because they move very, very slow and they're taking small breaths. They almost sound like they're wheezing, so it would be like somebody that's a cigarette smoker, okay? Now we're going to take out one of the very important organs in our body. This might hurt because I have to unlatch it and pull it. Excellent. So this is our heart. Okay? This, if you make the size of your fist, we don't have any blood pumping. So we use our heart, and it actually pumps the blood in and out of our body. Okay? So you can get the blood in that has oxygen, and it sends out nutrients. and then it pumps it out also into your lungs. Okay? So if you make the size of your fist, that's the size of what your heart would be. His heart's a little smaller because remember, these organs are beginning to rot, so they're shriveling up. So that's why zombies usually feed on like blood and skin, because they need the blood because they're not actually pumping their own. We're trying this new rehab program with our zombies, so we're not feeding them blood. We're trying to do alternatives, maybe make them vegans and like vegetables and broccoli, and see what effects it would have on their actual bodies. Okay?
I don't think your zombie likes vegan food.
No, he doesn't. This, what you see right here, is the aorta. Okay?
Wait, can we get a good picture? Wait. Let me take
Well,
a
at the
better
end, we're going to put all the organs up so you guys can come up and you
of
can
course.
take pictures.
Yes.
Okay? Yes, it is. That's why it's really important for us to eat healthy. Eat healthy, because if you don't eat healthy, this can all be covered with fat. Okay? I guess that before Dr. Sullivan became a zombie, he actually ate really healthy because he only had a little bit of fat. He didn't have too much of it on his heart. Okay?
broccoli, right?
Even though he doesn't like to eat it now. Okay. So, we won't take out any more organs out of Dr. Sullivan. But what do you think that we use to eat? Where does our food go when we eat it?
Our stomach.
Excellent, our stomach. This one will make room on the tray. 1 second. This one we have to go a little lower from. Ooh. I ripped some of your memory. I'm sorry. Ooh, and I think I got a little bit of your liver on here too. So liver, very important, very good question. So the liver, it kind of takes out the toxins in your body. So this is your stomach, and then you see this right here. This is the membrane in your stomach. So this is what stretches on your stomach to make more room sometimes for food. As you can see, this membrane is very fibrous and looks like a little web because it's beginning to kind of decay and it's separating itself from his stomach. Okay? They're all real organs. So the stomach is really important. Dr. Sullivan is very friendly zombies, and all the zombies that we get downstairs are very friendly. But this is a very important tool that if you ever do find a zombie, you want to go into his stomach because the stomach will let you know when was the last time he ate. Because their bodies are not digesting the same like we do, they store more in their stomach. So that means that if they ate any skin or any fingers or any teeth, that would still hang out here because that's not digestible. They don't have that stomach acid that we do to break down all the good stuff that we eat. Okay? Yeah.
Why does he wear gloves?
Because he was a scientist before. Remember Dr. Thomas Sullivan? So in between his changing into a zombie.
How long has it been?
Since he changed? Maybe I want to say a couple of hours, 1 or 2 hours, not that much.
Yeah, lunch.
Actually, he's correct, because now we've looked at the stomach, now we're going to look at the intestines. And let's see if he...
Okay.
These are long, guys. We're going to get the small and the large. Ooh, I smell it. Ooh, you definitely ate something. And that smell that we're going to be bringing around is kind of fecal matter. That means poop.
Sorry.
He did not poop.
Sorry. No.
So you see that? You have your small, and then we have our large, and then in here is where the poop is. So I guess Dr. Thomas over here did a poop.
That's all right now.
The large one is this one. And the thicker one is the smaller one. No, the poop is actually inside.
Yeah, it's poop.
It's right here. The large is this one. The large has this.
The poop holder.
Yeah, the poop holder. So we've looked at, no, we're not, you still have other stuff in there. We're not going to take that out. We're focusing on very important things. We try to prepare these people for before they come into contact with any other zombies, they know how to kind of protect themselves. So even though zombies can't really see, that's why he can still see because he's still in the stages of transforming. They actually have heightened senses. So that means they can't see, but they can hear and they can smell the living. Okay? It's almost like bats. Like you know how they throw that echo in the dark to hear? That's how zombies, they use sound as a form of eyesight. It stinks. We need you to not. Okay, guys.
Oh no.
Jency, attend to the other zombies. I think the other zombies are trying to get in.
Oh.
Dr. Thomas, I don't think we're going to have time to sew you up, so you're just going to have to go back into the cage area without your organs. Jency, maybe we can use him to kind of control them back into their cages. I think it's feeding time for them, so that's why they're